Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Why would I want to sound like I'm on an airplane? I don't understand. I don't understand. That's okay. Apocalypse is coming. Alright. I'm gonna do some research really quick. Before I get started writing. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful day. Be like than I like myself. Every nightly, want to go. Oh, holy shit. Guys, everybody's going absolutely ape over on the pre-order side. Alright. Yeah, people are going ape over on the backer kit. We only have 10 people left that have not answered. Or technically 9, because one of them is a test backer. Jace, your dad is one of the backers who hasn't fucking answered his survey. He should check his spam. Because it's likely an email from backer kit in spam. Just so that you know. Yeah, otherwise everybody that I know has answered it. So these are all people that, I don't know. So that's, you know, whoa, OBS. So yeah, that's a thing, but that's okay. At the very minimum, a lot of these folks, well, some of these folks are like large backers. So if they back late, then all it means is that is delayed, and that's okay. They just may have to wait until parts of their orders show up at the house. I'm gonna do my best to order extras of stuff, but I warn people. This Pungal is like 40,000 degrees. Whew. I can't. The weenie, the Marvel Rivals weenie is too powerful. Holy shit. Okay. I'm going to be doing a lot of writing today. I'm going to wait for just a little bit longer until people trickle in, so that way I'm not, like, mid-sprint when people come. But I don't know. If another minute or so passes and nobody's here, I'm just going to go for it. Oh yeah, just now my live now notification went off, so it probably will be a second before other people get in here. Sometimes the Stream Elements bot is real slow. But that's alright. I'm just gonna go for it and do announcements on our first break, because we got 21 today. So, effectively, I'm going to be working on Wolf in the Walls today. I actually think I'm at 21k words, so I actually think I'm going to finish this novella today. Very excited about it. And, yeah, I'm ready to go. I'm feeling good. Feeling good about it. So, I'm going to go ahead and jump in to this. And that finishes the plot twist setting, or the pinch. And then I have to have Aiden, drag Helen directly out of, the diner by her hair, which is not great. We don't like that, so I'm going to go ahead and write for 21 minutes. As people pop in, I will say hi, and then I will see you during our next break. Here we go. Alright, I'm out of the research booty hole. But you know what's sad? Ads are gonna start in 1 minute. That's okay, though. I, had to really make sure that the folk magic that I'm pulling from is actually real. Because, unfortunately, a lot of the sources that I was looking up, there's this guy, Grigori... What's this guy's name? Oh, Roman Chorny. He's like, I was like, a lot of the folk magic sources I was finding in Ukrainian were by this Roman guy. And that dude is effectively the Chris Angel of Ukrainian folk magic. So he like writes a folk magic blog about Ukrainian magic. And I'm like, this dude is not a reliable first person source. So I was able to find a scholarly paper from the 90s on Ukrainian folk magic. And hopefully that information is accurate. I'm gonna try and keep it just as vague as possible. Because I think what Gran is giving Baris is called Pitklad. And those are typically like hostile. They're almost like hex bags in Western like Celtic practice. And most of the time they're malicious. They're intended to do weird shit to the people that you give them to. Hex bags, of course, are not always negative, so that's a major difference. Because I wondered if it was like, okay, well, are these people reporting on the Pikladi like they're evil because of prejudice, or is it because they're actually meant to be hexes? And the answer is actually column B. They're meant to be malicious. So, unfortunately, a lot of Ukrainian folk magic, because it was so violently suppressed by Christianity, was passed on only in oral tradition, and so it's not uncommon to find people who are still practicing that magic today. And like, I even found a website that was in Russian about witches that you can go to help you predict the outcome of your court cases. You know, so folk magic is definitely still very alive and well in Eastern Europe. But making sure the information is accurate is really important. I'm sure that a lot of Ukrainian magic is closed practice because of the iconoclast that has happened over the last several hundred years. So I don't imagine that there are a lot of like written sources other than people doing like scholarly research for it. But I think I should be good, because what I have is this word omorochenye. Omorochenye is stupor. And interestingly enough, mora is the like root word for nightmare. And so I have this like interspersed. I hope that my research is good enough, and I hope that if a Ukrainian or a Russian person reads this, they go, oh, I see what this person was doing here. Because like the word kikimora, for example, which is what Liz is called when she's ruling with Zarkashte, means bringer of nightmares. So this mora word shows up. So omorochenye means to, you know, fog the mind, or to like it's a stupor. You're caught in a stupor. So it would be very similar to like Celtic fairy glamour. You know, that like, or the word used in the same way. So hopefully my research doesn't suck ass, and hopefully I won't make a mistakey. But Piklad means Piklad means lining. You know, that's the direct translation, but it's more like I'm hoping that a binding charm is going to be the right translation for this kind of thing. People find them at their houses all the fucking time and shit. You know, so. And we have those things kind of happen here in America, too, where you'll, like, open up a weird closet, and, like, inside will be, like, somebody's sealed wax jar full of baby teeth or some shit. So people do the same thing over here in, like, Western witchcraft as well, so. I understand the mechanism, I just have to make sure I use the right words. And a lot of those articles were in Ukrainian, and I don't speak Ukrainian. I speak a little bit of Russian, and that's all I got. So there we are. How you doing, Cal? I just finished up my breakfast. We had pongal. It's a mung dal dessert. from India, and it's fucking amazing. It's rice and lentils together with a bunch of sugar, like a shitload of sugar, and some coconut, and cashews and raisins, and it's fucking good. So I had dessert for breakfast, and I'm not even mad about it. Not even angry. But otherwise, I'm doing okay. And, I don't really have a lot of, like, crazy announcements today. I did post this stuff in the Discord, but people are free to go and look at this if you want to. It's not anything crazy. But Witch in the Woods now officially has the, long list badge on it, which is very cool for the open novella contest, and I love that the badge is a, crystal. It's so cool. So I'm excited for this to like match the cover once it gets done. Because I'll be able to use this long list badge as marketing on this thing when it gets released. So very exciting. It's also almost in the top 100 stories for Fairy, which is crazy. So that's really exciting. And Fatal Mechanisms, since it's been updated, is also in the top 300 for alien fiction, which is really, really cool. So both of those are available if anybody wants to check it out. I think I will at some point read Witch in the Woods on stream. It can be kind of triggering. There is some triggering content in it, but it's not nearly as triggering as Fatal Mechanisms. Like, it's fairy fiction, so there's some fucked up shit that happens, but it's not really that bad. That bot was really fucking annoying. Get out of here. But yeah, I'm getting pretty close. I did not write a lot because I needed to do research and make sure that PidClad functions correctly, and I think it does. I think we're good. So that's neat, and I'm just kind of processing through getting through this outline. We are now officially almost... Or we are in Act 3, so we're almost done with this thing. And then, after that, I have to write the Rollo novella as well. But I think his is going to need a lot of fucking research, and that's what I'm nervous about, but that's okay. A lot of these are pretty research-heavy pieces. And I recognize I could have probably done more research for the Brady books, and I feel like there were some... I don't know. I don't want to say mistakes that I made, but I could have been more... I don't know. Specific, I think, about certain cultural things. Yeah, see, and I made a mistake, right? And not to say that the Google AI is 100% accurate, but it's one of those things where I have them at a train station in Skolla in the 4th book, and I have the train station announcer give the announcements in Russian and not in Ukrainian. When the company that runs, like, and I wouldn't have had access to this information, unfortunately. I think that my research was not really that great. But this is the Orza Liznitsia line, and they only do announcements in Ukrainian. You know what I mean? So, like, if I wanted it to be 100% accurate, that would have been something that I should have done. And it's for one scene. It's one very tiny scene. And when I go back to publish, you know, like American readers are not going to know the difference, but if I go back to publish the 10th anniversary version, I might go back to that scene and retranslate it back into Ukrainian. You know what I'm saying? So it's like little things like that. Just that it's so close to the Russian border. I had made the assumption that it was going to be giving announcements in Russian, which is not the case because they speak a different language in Ukraine. So that was my bad, and we're not going to make those mistakes no more. So we're going to have lots of research heavy shit, which is what makes these projects, I think, so difficult. But on that note, I'm going to go ahead and jump into another Sprinteroni here. This one's a shorter one. Yeah, so that might be something that I do because it's something that I've been thinking about for a while. And I'm going to go and update all of my stuff and update the interior. So people who have purchased the previous version of the books, or of that book specifically, it's book 4. Thankfully, not a lot of people have really read the whole Brady series, so the chances of somebody having that book 4 with that error in it is very unlikely. But I'm going to update it. But yeah, we're going to go do a 16-minute sprint again. Let me know what you're working on or if anything cool has happened over the last couple of days. Yesterday we did a Hate Everything stream, and it was surprisingly bumping in here. So maybe if I have more free time, I'll do that at some point. But I'm going to go ahead and jump in, so I'll see you all in about 16 minutes, and let me know if you've got anything fun going on. All right. How did everybody do? I'm now up to 22k, so I'm almost through this fight scene, I think. I'm gonna swap from a new video game I've been playing to art. Trying to figure out how to draw an actor in my style. That's cool. Which actor? And also, which game? I've decided for this hate everything run, I am going to, I'm going to do, like, the content-aware characters and skip them. So that way I don't have to go through a hate run with everything, and that's going to hopefully speed up. I think it takes out, like, I'm not even shitting you, like 18 of the datables from the game, but you can still get a full completion. This is insane. Okay, I need to try and figure out if I'm gonna have Aiden say the fun word for vagina in this in Scottish Gaelic. How you know, profane do I want this guy to be? I think the answer is not that much, but that's okay. The game is Whiskerwood. It's a mouse cat colony sim. Oh my god. And then the actor is George Eads. Plays Nick Stokes on CSI Crime Scene Investigation. Crazy! I've never watched a single episode of CSI, but I hear that it's fun. I respect it. That sounds pretty cool. Okay, I think I have at least some good phrases that I can use. I just don't want him to be too, like, profane. But that's okay. I like writing this character a lot. Aiden's probably... I'm excited for him to be more prevalent in the Blockhead book. I need to do some more reworking. God, living in America is so difficult. I just... people will literally complain about anything here, y'all. So, Zohran Mamdani pledged to expand what is called Fair Fares, which is a low-income budget program for it's a program for low-income New Yorkers to be able to get the bus get on the subway for cheap, because like so many New Yorkers just take the subway, right? And so one of his campaign promises was to make the Fair Fares program, expand it and make it cheaper. So that's pretty cool. And he did expand it, and now 340,000 more people can use that discounted fare to get around New York City. That is huge. That shit is like make or break for certain people and their like income budget and all that other good shit. Huge. And you've got two groups of people complaining. The first are like, yeah, now he's gonna make all the subways communist, and they're yelling. So there's those people, and then the other people are like, he didn't do anything new because the Fair Fares program already existed. It's like, can't we just be fucking happy that 340,000 more people just get to use the cheap bus? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what. Why are we like this? Like. Or my favorite, and like these are Twitter comments, mind you. So Twitter is a fucking hellscape. But I love that some guy compared 340,000 people able to use the bus to Sharia law. So I'm so excited to leave this hellscape. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm fine, Gabriel. I shouldn't open my Twitter notifications. That is what I've just learned. I'm not allowed to fucking look at it anymore. Twitter's a hellscape. Holy shit. But I'm doing good. We're just plugging away on this, on sprints through this, the final climax, actually, of this novella, which is pretty great. But otherwise, I'm doing really, really well. Yeah, where's the I don't want to live on this planet anymore meme? No, for real, like, I'm so excited. So excited. I just... It's been, like, a non-stop week of, like watching that skydiver crash into a tent at the Trump 250 thing, or watching the dancers almost get the fuck taken out by a speaker at that event. It's the pool, like there's just like, it's the lack of human rights. It's the Patriot Front. It's just like, it's everything. And I consistently was telling myself before, like, as we were solidifying all these moving plans, I was like, there's no way that the U.S. could possibly get any worse or any weirder before we leave. I was fucking wrong. I was not accounting for how fucked up the 4th of July could possibly be. And now here we are. If you would have told me back in January, like, yeah, so when the 4th of July happens, it's literally going to be a sitcom-level explosive disaster, and there's going to be the KKK at the event, I would have been like, bro... That's so, there's so much going on that it sounds fake. And it was not. So I'm excited to fucking leave. Kind of stressed out because I have to move, but still pretty excited. Excited to go be somewhere chill. But everybody should hydrate. I'm drinking some tea. We got a whole self-care combo. I'm going to go ahead and roll for my next sprint. But effectively, I'm just going to keep chugging until I get through this book. We're very, very close. Okay, so let's see. I gotta try and figure out how to get Baris from point A to point B here. And how the mechanisms of this are gonna work. Oh, we're back in a kind of a longer sprint. So yeah, let me know if there's anything fun you've been working on, and I'm gonna just keep plugging away, and I'll see you all in about 22 minutes. Here we go. I did it! Wow, that was the most intense shit. Oh my lord. I still gotta finish up this final, confrontation. Yeah. And I don't think I'm going to have Chorabash physically engage. I love Chorabash. I can't wait to... it's been a minute since I've gotten to write that son of a bitch. He's just trying to do math, man. Also, we got a self-care combo! Everybody stretch and sit up straight and drink liquids. We're so fightable. The curtain. I would love to have this girl. If I ever had like an adult Von Altus movie, I want Annabelle Dinda to write the soundtrack. So, how you doing, Chips? Ads are gonna start in a minute. I am sorry about that. It's ill-timed sprints today. Sailor, a cowboy, to his palm like he made it himself. I open my mouth, I think, wow, what a loud noise. Yeah, wow. No, Annabelle Dinda, holy shit. And again, around the willow. If you guys haven't seen her over on TikTok, you should totally fucking check her out. She's an amazing acoustic folk artist. She's just, holy shit. Working on logistics stuff while my father chitters in my ear about money, honestly. Every damn day. Same, though. We have a lot of logistics stuff to go through as well. Are you going to move? So that means that you're going in the spring semester? So are you thinking about moving later on this year? This isn't rage, it's too specific. Put me in it. Fight the blind around the willows. Yeah, I'm lost in the scene a little bit. I have been waiting to write this moment for like years. Oh, fuck yes. Oh, yes. Jason just delivered the best news, speaking of fucking logistics. He just let me know that once I obtain a visitor's record that shows that I'm staying with him for more than 6 months, I qualify for British Columbia's public health insurance. God, that was really fucking stressing me out. Oh my god, I thought that I needed to get like a job as quickly as humanly fucking possible in order to qualify for health insurance, but that is not the case. Holy shit, that's actually really, really good news. Yeah, that's amazing. Yay, logistics! Sometimes shit just works out, so I now get to panic less. I still would really like a job in Canada. I have, like, for sure one guy who wants to hire me as an illustrator, but I need that guy to give me full-time work, so that's going to be the trick, is I'm going to have to talk to that dude and be like, look. We all try to hide, we hold on so tight, we cannot deny eats us alive. I would also love this song on that, this track on the soundtrack as well. There's a scream inside that we all try to hide, we hold on so tight, but I don't want to die, no. I don't want to die, I don't want to die, yeah. Yeah, like, that's just, holy shit, she's so powerful. Sia has made some weird mistakes, but at least she's not evil. Just throwing that out there. I was looking into the other school that accepted me that it would be much less money, $35K a year with all expenses. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's great that you have gotten into multiple institutions because then you do have that choice. You know, you can look at it and go, okay, yeah, what's going to be the best option? So, no, that's awesome, though. And it is something to consider for sure. As somebody who has almost $200,000 in student loans, my general opinion is that the U.S. government is a scam. And overall, like, if you do like the other school, even though it's more expensive, if you like it more, for example, like you like the programs more, you like the location more, just fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Just go. Because as somebody who is like, yeah, spent most of my time pouring student loans into shit, like, at the end of the day, like, they can't fucking come for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's kind of, it's kind of a non-issue at the end of the day. Because, like, for example, just for context on kind of how I operate, I make right now, around $65K a year with all of my weird contract jobs, all Frankensteins together. My student loan payment is around $250 on the PAYE plan, so that's like the pay-as-you-earn plan. That's going to get transferred into whatever the fuck Donald Trump's new income-driven student loan payments are, which might actually reduce my student loan payments to like $130 a month. Like, it because I make under a certain threshold, it just is not going to matter in the long run, right? And if I make less than that, like, I'm going to be losing my REMCAD job, so I have to report that to the feds. My student loan payment likely will be zero. Now, granted, the shitty thing that Donald Trump is doing is making it so that instead of a 20 or 25-year threshold for student loans to get wiped, he's bumping it to 30 years. But I'm like, brother, I don't know how to tell you that none of us are going to be able to pay our shit off in 30 years. Like, unless a miracle, an act of God happens, that's not going to happen. So, for people who are low-income earners like myself, it doesn't really matter, right? So I can sit for the rest of my life, and, like, if you, like me, are planning on staying in Canada for forever, as soon as you start, like, get a Canadian job, that number becomes zero, right? And the major thing that I was concerned with was what is called a tax bomb, and that's where when you go to, when your student loans get absolved, whatever the difference is, they unfortunately can tax you. President Biden was trying to make it so that tax amount, whatever that absolved amount is at the end of the day, was untaxable. And Donald Trump shut that down. Why? Because he wants to fucking tax the shit out of poor people. So there's that. But I also learned that if you are considered insolvent, that taxed amount is reduced to zero. Right? So insolvency means that you have more debt than your income allows. Most people are going to be insolvent. That's just the way of the world that we live in now. And so unless you become a, like, doctor or a lawyer or, like, somebody, like a fucking astronaut, like, you're making so much money, you likely will be insolvent at the end of the day. So what that path looks like is you don't make enough money to really qualify for any kind of student loan payment amount above maybe $100 to $150, right? So in my case, right? So my payments are either less than $150 or in some cases zero for forever, for that 30 years. And unless I'm making money on U.S. soil, that payment will stay zero. So once I get a job in Canada, that will be $0 that I owe every month. Every month that number is zero qualifies toward my overall repayment. Once 30 years are up, they can't charge me anything, right? There's nothing for them to collect. So I don't have to worry about that tax bomb at all. So that's my point, is they try and fucking intimidate you with all of this, like, threat of shit. You know, and, like, am I paying my student loans right now because it's the honorable thing to do? Yeah, absolutely. But when my PAYE plan or whatever the new Trump replacement is zero, that doesn't negatively impact my credit. The interest will still continue to go up, but, like, they can't come for you. You know what I mean? It's this big, nasty threat that is ultimately an empty one. You know? So, do what you want, follow your heart. That's my advice as somebody who is been doing this, because especially if you are planning on getting a job in Canada at the end of the day, it just will not fucking matter, and they will never be able to come for you. Like, it's a threat. It's an empty threat. So, be free! That's all I have to say. So, on that note, I am going to go ahead and roll another piece of Sprinty. Oh, this is a really short one. So I'm gonna try and blast through as much as I can in like 10 minutes. So We'll do a little short sprinto. Yeah, not worried about the feds. Oh, well, and the private ones, so just before I go, the private ones you can consolidate into federal loans. So what I've done, for example, is that for those private loans, because I had to take out private loans for Grad Plus so in order to go to grad school, you consolidate all of those loans all under, like, Nelnet, for example. That's who I'm paying through. Those are all consolidated. So the federal government will take those loans. And it is as if, effectively what they do is that they pay the private student loan company. So, for example, if I look at my payment history for my student loans, right, when I consolidated all of my loans after I got out of grad school last year, it showed that I made a $33,000 payment, which I sure as hell didn't do because I don't have $33,000. But what that was the federal government paying the Grad Plus loan guys $33,000 to take that loan from them and lump it into the federal student loan instead. So this is pretty common in, like, loan situations. Like, you can do the same thing where you could absolve or, like, consolidate certain debts. Like, say you got medical debt, you can consolidate that into your mortgage, for example, because one of those may have, like, a lower interest rate, for example. Things like that. So that's something that you can and you should do when you get out. And point being is that they can never come for you for that. You know what I mean? So if you need any help with those kinds of things later on down the road, please let me know, because when I say I have done back-breaking financial gymnastics, because I am a poor bitch. My dad is truly a expert in making sure that people can't abuse him. You know, he's been doing that his whole life, and he's picked up a lot of great tips and tricks that the wealthy elite use all the fucking time to dodge their debt and to do all of this other shit. So if we can exploit it too, then we should, you know? So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about that, because it's actually a pretty easy process. You just gotta contact the student loan people and be like, hey, I want to consolidate my student loan. But that only do that, you can only really do that after you graduate and you're no longer going to school, you know? So it's definitely not something that you have to worry about for, like, several years, but and who knows, maybe if we get really fucking lucky and I recognize, like, right now AOC is looking to be the prime Democratic candidate. Everybody wants her to run really, really bad. She has not announced that she's running, but if she gets into office, our student loans likely will just go away. Like, or at least a big old chunk of them, because she would probably prioritize taking that shit the fuck out. So who knows? Maybe we can just kind of keep our eyes on the horizon and get out of whatever WWE hell this is, because that's kind of where we're at. But yeah, I'm gonna go and sprint for like 10 more minutes, and I will be back very soon. Here we go. Alright. I'm in phase 3 of this boss fight. Jesus Christ. I have to try and make Helen sound as authentic as possible. I don't know that many Jewish people, but I'm gonna need my Jewish friend to read over this. Helen is like she's a black Jewish American from New Jersey, so I don't think she's like that traditional. So I have to make sure that she's not saying anything offensive while also still being relatively culturally Jewish. I think she's like, yeah, more colloquially Jewish than anything else. Okay, let's see if I got another rejection for appetite. Yep, I did. Wow! What a surprise! Trying to get into the traditional publishing industry is just a Russian roulette of rejection letters. It's fucking awful. Yeah, it's really bad. If you're gonna be any kind of like creative, you have to just be prepared for you know, just a constant stream of rejections, which is okay. Eventually, maybe I will find one person, but like I'm starting to feel a lot better about my situation because, like, the reality is I made, like, 200% of my funding goal for Court of Snakes, the Omnibus, and that bastard was, like, arguably the most expensive project I've tried to publish to date. And what's crazy to me is that, like, on average, debut trad published authors are, in their first year, selling around 250 to 500 books, give or take. Like, that's my threshold for Liminal House, right? Is it I need the author to sell 150 books before I flip the royalties on them. And then they make 60%, I make 40%, right? So that's considered in the positive, right, for royalties. And the reality is, like, just looking at the math, what's crazy is that because of this Kickstarter, I have to, like, try and keep my brain in the most realistic place. This was last year, right, for my book sales. This was 2025. So, on average, the thing that made me the most was King of Dust, and it was doing a, like, audiobook Kickstarter for that, right? And Heaven's Equal Volume 2 also had a Kickstarter, and I sold around 20, maybe, like, around 10, actually, copies of that. So, 168 books total, and that was over the whole year. This is where I'm at just because of the Kickstarter. That is fucking insane. I sold 60 copies of Court of Snakes 1 this month. And I sold 66 copies of the sequel. So that is 120 books in 1 month, right? And so these authors that are in traditional small presses are being told, hey, you need to generate, 150 to 250 sales. I did it by myself. No marketing budget. I spent a total of $35 on ads. Okay? Like, I have done only a couple of book events, right? Like, this is not me spending a shitload of money on, like, a PR person, for example, or a publicist to, like, get this going. And the reality is, what's really sad about this is if I look at my book sales, right, and I have 171 sales, and the books sell for around, give or take, around $15, right? That's around $2,500 in sales. I make around 60% profit on that. So I made around $1,500. Now, granted, some of that profit, that's, and even still, it's probably a little bit more than that. Let me actually figure out what the percentage is here. I can do this math. We're doing some fucking math here. It costs about $6 to produce each book, so that means I get 9. So if you have 9 divided by 15, yeah, 60%. I was right. My math is right. So that's how much profit I actually make off the book, is about $1,500. Right, and now if we consider the expenses of, like, the editing and all of that shit, you know, you'd have to divide, like, let's assume we have it's about maybe, like, $1,500 of expenses, divided by, whoops, that's not what I wanted. So that's about $10 per book ends up, unfortunately, being expenses, right? So let's actually do that math. So that starts to become, and maybe it's not that much. Maybe if I assume, let's hope that it's actually like 250 units instead, because that's, I think, the way that this math is going to shake out. $6 of expenses. So 9 minus 6. That means that I'm actually only making $3 in profit per book. So 3 times 171 or 150. That's about $450. Versus, if a traditional author is on a standard 7% contract, right? Oh, actually, let me make sure I do my math right. 3 times 171. Okay, so actually $513. That's what we're looking at. If a traditional author is on a standard 7% contract and they sold the same 171 units, what's crazy about that? Whoops. I can do math. They make $179. So I made in profit $513. This author, traditionally published, for selling the same exact book, would make $180. That's fucking insane. Right, that's insane. And so the only thing you're really gaining from a traditional publishing contract is visibility. You're sacrificing so much money for visibility. And I'm like, for fucking what? You know what I mean? So I have to constantly remind myself that, like, this is a better option. Ultimately, even if I was a traditionally published author, unless I somehow went viral, nothing would be better, you know? So it's important to, like, keep my focus on that. And I think that's why the rejections from the traditional, like, publishing houses and agents don't really bother me that much. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I'm doing better, you know? So that's how the math shakes out. That's why self-publishing is better, and that's why I run Liminal House the way that I do. Because at the end of the day, my authors are going to make more money, and I'm going to make more money as a publisher than the alternative. You know? So fucking stupid. Alright, I'm going to go in for another sprint. I'm very close to, this will be the last sprint for the day. I don't know if I'm going to finish this book today on stream. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. We'll see how it goes, but I'm going to try and, at very least, finish up this final fight scene and then wrap this up. So, ads are coming in about 15 seconds, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump into this, and I will be back. Here we go. One day I will find one. But alas, I am very, very close to being done with this story. I might do one more sprint, even though I really shouldn't, and I should get back to doing my other job. But also, fuck work. I am a free bitch. I won't hesitate, bitch. That's all I gotta say. And that's okay. I think I'm gonna do one more. I'm so close. I'm so close. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna leave yet. I'm gonna hang out for a second. I think do one more. Real work's for noobs. I have some emails that I need to do and some other shit that I need to send out, but I'm not really like that. And like jobs to apply to. I'm not really that concerned about it, to be honest. I'm very close. I gotta talk fairy politics, and then I gotta wrap this story up. I'm combining a lot of these sections. Okay. I think I know how I'm gonna do this. I have to like really consider all of my shit. Cause yeah, I still have technically like 10 more minutes to do like another sprint. I'll be okay. I wish that people were better at processing information because media literacy is really bad. I just saw like a super alarmist TikTok where someone was like, Fox is canceling Bob's Burgers, and I was like, what? Like, what? And it turns out what actually happened is that they are temporarily benching the show from Fox's traditional fall lineup, so Bob's Burgers is not going to have a new season in the fall. However, they're going to bring it back January, and it's likely because of like budget reasons, but that's not necessarily that crazy. It's apparently, according to Fox themselves, to avoid extended mid-season hiatuses. So that'll allow the Bob's Burgers team more time to produce a full-length season instead of making them do it in chunks. And so instead of actually reading what Fox announced, which is we are pushing back the show just a little bit to give the team more time to animate, everybody is going, oh, they're canceling Bob's Burgers. And it's like, so you guys can't read. Like, actively, you can't read. It's renewed through, like, so for context, the next season is season 18. The show has a renewed contract all the way through 2 more seasons after this. You know, so like there is nothing in this deal that says that the show is in jeopardy, and I wish that people would just not fucking catastrophize for clicks. Just because they're shifting the release schedule does not mean the show is gonna go up in a fucking blaze. Like, I need everybody to chill. I'm done. I'm done with people being unable to read. And yes, it is sad that like the fall season is not gonna have any Bob's Burgers. That is a bummer because I feel like their Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas episodes are some of the best fucking episodes ever. But the reality is that the show has been released like in such a broken pattern over the last couple of months. This is so that they can reset the schedule and then move forward with the regular schedule again. Like, to some extent, it's like it's fine. Holy shit! I just need people to chill out. I need people to learn how to read. I'm okay.
That's asking too much.
It's asking you to. Oh, God, you're right. I'm just tired, man. Okay, so I'm currently at 24,500 words. So I have about 1,500 words to wrap up this whole thing, I think. What? Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot that there was that weird bug. They fixed it, though. Apparently, like, 8,000 people got banned off of Discord for posting images with grids in it, and their automod bot, for whatever reason, was looking at the images, and it was, like, also affecting people posting pixel art as well. So any kind of gridded image, it, like, freaked out, and then auto-banned, like, over 8,000 people. And then they fixed it, so people are back in. But like that reminds me, it takes me back to the days of Tumblr seeing an orange and being like, "That's a booby," and then like immediately banning it and throwing it into the sun. So apparently, chessboards are too sexy for Discord. The Discord bot was upset and turned on. Which is funny to me. Alright, so in order to squeeze in one more... Oh, no! My friend Saf got one of those Tumblr things for a guy's fate. No! Yeah, those were the dark times, I feel like. That was truly, like, people are like, what was the darkest time on the internet? I'm like, the time that Tumblr thought that everything was a booby. It didn't know any better. God, that was bad. So bad. I'm not sure what's worse, Tumblr mistaking a face for a boob or Discord mistaking a chessboard for also a boob. Like, which is worse? So, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into this very last 19-minute sprint, and I'm gonna try and finish up the story. Everybody give me the good vibes for finishing up this fucking thing in 19 minutes. We're gonna see if I can do it. So, here we go. All right, we are back. Oh, the timer really shit the bed there. Sorry about that. Crazy. It's because I had to look at my outline. I'm sorry. So, I'm going to go ahead and call it there. I'm very, very close to finishing up this story. I've, like, barely just a little bit more, dialogue left to write to wrap all of this, yeah, all of this up. But I'm at 25,800 words, so I got about 200 words to finish this little thing up. And, then that's it. So I'm glad. I'm glad I made some good progress on this. And I'll be back tomorrow with more Heaven's Equal stuff. So I hope everybody has a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.